Jason in Washington, D.C. Hello, Jason.
How are you doing, Avi? Hope Jerusalem is beautiful this morning, as it usually is.
Jerusalem is unbelievably beautiful. We had winter just 2 weeks ago, and now it is summer outside. It's amazing, amazing.
Excellent.
So, Jason, I wanted to say thank you. I missed what you said?
Well, I can't wait to be there in May and join you.
Wonderful. It'll be even hotter then.
Yes.
So you made a very unique video in the contest. I'm almost positive you're the only animated video submission in the video contest. So why did you make the video, Jason? Why did you take your time out of your busy schedule in Washington, doing all the important work you do, both for what you do and for Israel, and you spent time making this video?
Well, one of my passions is in education, and I feel to become an informed individual and have an educated impression on Israel, it's to understand the facts. And when you break down everything to the most common denominator, an animation is strictly the most common form to provide education. There's nothing more than lines and words on the page. So I was looking to find a way to communicate my pro-Israel stance with the information that I have available to me through my own research, through my own visits to Israel, and also through independent and secondhand research. So I figured going with an animation, a whiteboard style, could help convey that in a very simple way, where a stop motion or another different channel could perhaps confuse some people with flashy, bright lights and images, but an animation can just break it down to the most common denominator.
Got it. And where did your passion come from for Israel to want to take out your time for this?
Yeah, so I'm a complete birthright success story. Grew up in a Jewish household with 2 Jewish parents and 4 Jewish grandparents. I knew I was Jewish, but I didn't know what Jewish meant until I actually went to Israel for the first time, and that was in 2006. Since then, I've been back 9 times, looking forward to my 10th visit this year, and every single time I go, I get a little bit more from the experience. I've volunteered in the Jewish community in Washington, D.C. I'm now involved at a national level with Israel Bonds, the Development Corporation for Israel. And I also spent a little bit of time as a fellow at the Embassy of Israel in Washington, D.C., just trying to improve my own understanding and make myself a better communicator and advocate for the state of Israel.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, putting the animation aspect aside, what's the main message you're trying to get across with your video?
I think everyone needs to come to an informed opinion. And that's not just with Israel, but with anything that they're passionate about or thinking about. And the only way to become informed is to become educated. So understanding the facts and trying to avoid some of the fictional narrative that some people try to impose upon Israel is really important. So there's a lot of individuals that try to demonize and delegitimize Israel. Therefore, it's up to us in the pro-Israel community to find ways to counter that. And the best way to counter fiction is with fact. So conveying actual, tangible facts about the state of Israel and how it is a democratic Jewish state that's open to all religions, open to all citizens, and any citizen has equal rights within the state.
Well, that is wonderful. We're definitely of the same head of getting the truth and facts out there. Now, you are sitting in the nerve center of where policy for the world is, basically, in Washington. Do the facts matter in Washington? I'm asking you honestly and as a way for you to talk about your experience working in Washington.
You know, the facts do matter, but the story actually resonates far more than the facts. So having the facts, but having it coupled with an interesting story. When you say Israel or Israeli, to some people that have never been there, it's this abstract thing. But when you're talking about Avi and you're talking about my other friends in Israel, you put a face to the name. And that really resonates. Talking about one individual story and how that impacts them on the day-to-day is incredibly important. I remember back in Operation Protective Edge, there was a lot of misinformation and selective facts that were being shared in the media. I had a negative experience with CNN, and they wouldn't report on Daniel Tragerman's name. So I created a CNN report to talk about Daniel Tragerman and how there was this young 4-year-old boy that was lost to his family in the world because of the fact that he simply lives in southern Israel and there was a mortar attack. His name wasn't reported anywhere else on CNN.com, but if you do a search for it today, his name appears in my CNN report.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you, just regardless of the contest, but for your proactive stance in getting the facts out there about what's going on here. So thank you. And I guess last question really is, give a pitch. Why should people watch your video and why should they vote for it?
Well, I think people should just pay attention to the campaign as a whole. I think this is an important way for user-generated content to get out into the masses so people can understand different perspectives of Israel. And certainly I have a little bit of a bias when it comes to my own video as being one of the best, but I think everybody should just pay attention to the Inspired by Israel contest as a whole, watch all the videos that are out there, and vote for the ones that they feel are the most important. And certainly with my bias, I think you all should vote for my video.
I'll accept that. That's a wonderful, wonderful pitch for you and for everything, and I appreciate it. And once again, thank you so much for taking the time to make a video for the contest. I wish your video much hatzlacha, all the best of luck in the contest. And obviously, if in the future anything you're involved in with all of your Israel activities and connected to any videos, now you have an address to send so we can help you get the message out there. So thanks a lot for everything, Jason.
We appreciate it, Avi, and keep on amplifying our messages.
Thank you. All right, have a great week, Jason.
You too. Thank you all.